My name is Hannah Chapman. I bring a unique perspective to this show because I'm not a distributor. I am not connected to any equipment. I'm not connected to any manufacturer or brand or anything. I am just like you. I am an owner and operator. I've been in this business since I started looking in 2019, and we bought our first store and opened in January 1st of 2021. So I'm kind of a baby in the laundry industry, but I love what I do. I was talking shop with some of the guys here yesterday, and he was like, "Man, you are so hyped up." And I said, "I love what I do." And so, anyway, I get to talk to you about wash and fold. I thought it was really interesting how Brian was talking about the different areas of the industry that are really expanding and really growing. And something that I think that we do really well is wash and fold. And so, this is what we're going to talk about. Kind of catchy, but your next 100,000 isn't in quarters, okay? And I'm going to give you some of those practical tips and steps that we can go through today. A little bit about me. You want to know what you're getting and who you're talking to. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about me. I'm a mom. I have 2 young boys. One of them turns 9 tomorrow. So I'm hitching it back to Oklahoma after this so I can celebrate with him. I'm a former nurse. I was a nurse in labor and delivery for 10 years, and I spent a year of that in the operating room at the second largest operating room in Oklahoma City. I was one of 3 nurse managers, and we oversaw 60 different team members. So doctors, nurses, anesthesiologists, scrub techs, you name it, we saw it. Anything that you saw in the news is what came through my operating room. So trauma doesn't scare me, people don't scare me, and dirty troughs don't scare me. So I am an Enneagram type 1. So I don't know if any of you are familiar with the Enneagram, but type 1s, we are reformers and we are teachers. So I get to do really what I love and what I was made to do. And so that's to teach you guys about wash and fold. And then also being a reformer. And a reformer tries to change and improve something. And so I'm here to help change and improve the laundry industry, specifically wash and fold. So I am a type A. You'll see that throughout the slides as we start talking about things. I'm an introvert. I love having one-on-one conversations. So if you want to know more about this, I love the group setting, but let's have the conversation. I really love that. I am a recovering control freak. It's been probably about 20 minutes since my last episode, and I wash everything cold. So if you wash everything cold, you're in great company. So what's the purpose of today? I want to give you clarity. We're going to kind of take the 10,000-foot view of what wash and fold is. We're going to go through a lot of information. You're going to feel like you're drinking through a fire hydrant, but I'll try to break it down as easily as possible. Direction. Where are you and where do you need to go? I'm going to tell you kind of where we started, and you'll be able to kind of pick your spot in our journey. And then encouragement. When we started in 2019, I didn't have anybody. I had to do this all by myself. And so I want to give you words of encouragement and support and rally around you in a community of others that can really help you be successful in wash and fold. A little bit about our journey. Like I said, we opened in January of 2021. We built 4 stores in 3 years. Our first store had no wash and fold, and we went from 0 to 81,000 pounds of wash and fold in 1 year. That town was a town of only 18,000 people. So those of you that live in the Metroplex and you have a lot of people to pull from, we're just a fraction of what you can do. So I hope that you find encouragement in that you can do it if we can do it on a small scale. So these are just some pictures of things that we've done. I think you should vet every person that you get information from. If you find it on TikTok, you should vet them. If you find them from me on the stage, you should vet me. So this is me vetting myself, okay? This is also for those of you that don't own a laundromat. I know there's several of you that are looking to get in the laundry space, but you don't have a laundromat yet. This is our 3rd store, and it's actually just a drive up. And behind those big bay doors are 2 huge Continental washers and 2 Dexter Express dryers. And we can process anywhere from 7 to 1,000 pounds of laundry a day. And it is just strictly drive up. We have great faces and great team members that take them from their vehicles. It's kind of on the dry cleaner model. And so if you don't have a laundromat, you don't have to have a laundromat to get into wash and fold. Why get into wash and fold? Why are we seeing this huge change? It's changing consumer behavior. I think King nailed it when he said he gets chapstick in 2 hours. It's because you live in Massachusetts. In Oklahoma, we have to call and the force has to come 2 days later to bring us our chapstick. And so, but there's 3 consumer behaviors, and this is a big marketing piece that I want you to take home. So when we talk to laundromat owners, they say the biggest struggle we have is marketing and staffing. And so we're going to spend a lot of time in those 2 areas. But for marketing, you're going to market for health and wealth and time. Okay, write it down. Health, wealth, and time. So for health, people ever since COVID, health industry and wellness is booming, okay? You see all these skincare places, you see all these weight loss products, GLP-1s, okay? They're skyrocketing through the roof. People care about their health. And so for us, we market that. We have an ozone system. So we can say we have the cleanest comforter in town when you come with us. And some people are like, that's a big deal for them. Or if they've had a kid who's been sick all night, hey, I need to get this thing cleaned. Where am I going to go? We're marketing to their health. The next thing is wealth. So whether they are wealthy or they want to look wealthy, you portray that to them. They want a nice finished garment. We're providing a customer experience, and that comes down through wealth. And then time. Time is the biggest thing. That's something that we all have the same amount of, no matter where we're from or what we do. So if we can trade their time to be able to spend it with their family and not having to do laundry, which is the #1 hated chore in America, by the way, we can sell them on that. And so when you start to build your marketing campaigns, these are the 3 things that you're going to want to hit. How are you going to find your customers? You want to have a target avatar. That's a big word right now in the marketing world, but you're going after 3. Now, we're located in the central United States. Most of you are in this Texas, Oklahoma area. Now, if you're on the coast, your customers are going to look a little different because they have different behavior patterns. We say y'all and howdy and how you doing and fixin' to, okay? They don't say that in Massachusetts and California. So your ideal customers are dual income households. So both mom and dad are working. This is interactive. So in the marketing, what are we going to be selling these households? Time. Okay. Busy professionals, what are you selling them? Time and wealth, okay? They have the money to spend it on nice clothes, and then they also want to look at, it's also giving them exclusivity. When you roll up in that big branded billboard van that you have, and you're the only one in the neighborhood, and they get to walk out there and grab their laundry and walk back inside, you're selling them wealth, exclusivity, okay? And what about single dudes? Nothing. They're just dudes. They don't want to do it. You're not selling them anything. Something King talked on, and I want to really go into, is we are a manufacturing industry with a hospitality focus, okay? I'm going to repeat that again. You're going to write this down. We are a manufacturing industry with a hospitality focus. And you think manufacturing, you think vehicles. So I'm a word person, okay? I also homeschool, so you're going to get some teacher in me. So we transform raw materials, components or substances, clothes, into finished goods through labor, staff, machines, washers and dryers, tools, so folding tables, and chemical processing, that's detergent, okay? So we are a manufacturing industry, but our focus is in hospitality. So hospitality thrives on creating memorable, comfortable experience for guests driven by customer satisfaction. They are highly reliant on disposable income, which is your busy professionals and your dual income households, and leisure time. They're characterized by high-touch, personalized service aimed at building customer loyalty and encouraging repeat behavior. Basically, we give a finished good to create a memorable experience by personalized service. That is what Wash and Fold is in a nutshell. So I'm going to take you on our journey. Like I said, we've done 4 stores in 3 years, and this is kind of our journey. This is our first store. We bought this. The owner had just completely did a whole ground up rebuild. It was an old Circle K gas station. There are actually 20 washers in there and 20 dryers. It's about 1,800 square feet. So you can make pretty much anything work. So this is our first store. This was the day 1 that we opened. Part of this creating a hospitality area is speaking their language. You have to speak your customer's language. So the only print that you're going to see in our stores is above our washers. They don't know when you say, hey, that's a 60-pound washer. They're like, I don't know what that means. Or, hey, that's a 20-pound. Or they're like, I don't know what that means. But they understand large. They know what mega means. According to King, they're going to go bigger, right? That's what we do, especially in Texas. They understand huge, okay? Right? They know what huge is. And so you have to speak your customer's language. So this is a little bit of self-serve here. So you're going to kind of see some of this. And this is the beginning of our wash and fold process. We had no idea what we were doing in the beginning, but we figured it out. And everything in wash and fold is systems. This is our second store. Our second store was a zombie mat, okay? It had a huge fire, and this is what it looked like before. Top loaders, wood paneling, Had that musky smell. Didn't even have an air conditioner. Had a swamp cooler. This is what it looks like now. Okay. So we kept the same pits and then we outfitted them, and then you can see all the other stuff we did. Again, a better picture. You can see where the fire was. So again, we're creating a memorable, hospitable experience for our customers. This was our third store that opened 3 months after we opened our second store. We were crazy. And this is kind of, you can see the concept of it on the outside, and this is what it looks like on the inside. And we're going to break each area of these down when we get into workflow and processing. And this is, you can see there's the dryers and the washers. And then we added pickup and delivery. This is our delivery vans. And then this is our fourth store. This is our newest store. We're just north of the Red River in Ardmore. So if you ever want to come visit us, it's about 6.5 hours away. And this store combines everything that we learned in our first 3 stores. So this has a drive up. This has wash and fold in-house. This has pickup and delivery. So this has everything all into one. So this is like our culminating moment here. 3,500 square feet. And it does have these beautiful garage bays for the 2 days a year in Oklahoma we can open them. Houston, you might get 2 hours. Okay, so this is where hospitality comes in. So this right here is what we have put on our doors, and it's just a welcoming environment before they ever get in the door. And we stole this actually from Hilton. So I encourage you, if you're trying to learn how to be hospitable, there's a book on unreasonable hospitality. I highly recommend it. But then after that, go stay at a nice Hilton hotel. Stay at the Ritz-Carlton, the Four Seasons. Y'all have those. They're not very far from here. Go experience what that's like to stay there, and that's the experience that you're wanting to create for your clients. So you can kind of see our journey. So here's where we started, and then here's where we are today. So you are somewhere in here. I guarantee you, you've either bought an existing store, you've bought a zombie mat, you're not sure if you're going to do wash and fold, or you've done everything all in one. And so I want to speak to you again from a place of encouragement, is I've been where you are and I've experienced it all. So some things that you want to consider operationally before you get started in wash and fold, okay? The biggest thing is going to come down to machines, okay? If you can't handle the amount of wash and fold that you're going to be doing every single day, we're doing 800 pounds in one store every single day. If you only have 20-pound machines, you're not going to be very efficient. Your PPOH is going to be like 2 pounds an hour, okay? You run on efficiency. Remember, we're manufacturing. Think about most car manufacturers. Those people don't move more than 2 inches in their space, okay? We're going to be doing a whole lot more than that, but you need to start building for that based on your equipment. We are in partnership. Who we deal with is a partner of the EVI Industries, the Advantage Laundry in Garland. And they've been wonderful with us. Even before we ever owned a laundromat, they took us around and they helped us figure out exactly what we wanted. And who we deal with, his name is Daniel. And so I tell this story is when we were touring stores, we didn't have anyone yet. And he took us to a store in Tulsa and he said, "Hey, I'll sit with your little boy here while you can go talk to this guy." We're like, sweet. I got 20 minutes of babysitting. I can go wander up over here. Daniel's got my kid. Okay. So we go and we're seeing our thing, and Daniel is like 6'5", big dude. I see his head pop up over the washers, and I'm like, oh, and he's real red. Daniel doesn't get red face, and he's kind of quiet. He kind of waves at me. So I'm like, oh no. So I go over there, and he points at the little one. He peed his pants. So they're great with your machines, not with your kids, okay? If you need questions about your washer, they got you. Your children, don't ask, okay? And we do run all Dexters at our stores. Most of our stores are 10 turns a day at least, and that's outside of wash and fold. And we've had very minor repairs, and they've been actual literal workhorses. And so they don't pay me to say this. This is me just telling you our story, and they've been wonderful. Also, we didn't have to leverage our child or our kidneys. We partnered with Dexter Financial, and they were wonderful. That's my unofficial plug for them. Staffing. So you have your machines, you know that you can handle all your wash and fold, but you've got to have somebody that's going to do the work, right? Because manufacturing comes down to staffing, right? That's the first part of it, is labor. And so you need to be attended. If you're already not attended, you're going to have to start working on that. The next thing is putting policies and procedures into place. Then your handbook. Handbook includes training manual, what all that looks like. Again, this is one of the biggest things that people ask us about is staffing. So I kind of spend a little bit more time on this part. You need to have a training manual. Everybody right now is into short form videos, okay? That's TikTok, okay? Reels, all those types of things. You need to start incorporating that into your training program, okay? They're not going to sit here and read and read and read and read, okay? They need something that they can go through quickly and that they're going to retain easily. So start incorporating videos. We do all of our software training via video, okay? With our POS system, we're going to get to this, but they actually have Clean Cloud University. So we send our employees through that. I didn't even have to create that. That's a resource that I have and that my employees are able to use, and I didn't have to spend the time to create it. So I bought time from them. Also, we have coursework throughout our training manual. You have to know that whatever you're spending all these time and hours for your team to retain, that they actually know what they're doing. They have to have a question and answer. It's just like going to school. You want them to be responsible. We have birthday gifts. We celebrate anniversaries. We have a bonus structure. We do yearly reviews. We are very, very staff heavy because we are in the people business, not the laundry business, okay? If you don't want to be in your store every single day, you have to take care of your people. You're going to have to pay them a little bit more. You're going to have to invest in them in the front, and then they'll stay with you through the end. I've got one girl who's been with me 4 years. That store's only been open 4 years, okay? And my turnover right now is due to babies or moving. So I'm not having people leaving me to go to the casino or go work at other places that pay more per hour. They're staying with me because I take care of them, okay? And so you need to do the same for that. And then scheduling. So something we do that is a little bit different for scheduling, and I got this from when I worked in healthcare. We have a weekend crew and we have a weekday crew, okay? Let me tell you the reason for this. They have a set schedule, okay? People now value time. They value flexibility. If you don't allow them that flexibility regularly, it's very hard for them to continue working. Also, 11 of my 27 employees, I'm their second job. You have to be able to provide them a schedule where they can work that second job, where they can work for you on the weekday, but then also work for someone else on the weekend. And so also when your weekday is out, your weekend people can cover them and vice versa. Then you're not calling out and you're having to go open the store at 7 a.m. You're not having to do that. Your weekend crew is covering your weekday. The biggest thing, this is, like I said, most people ask us, how do I get people? How do I hire them? How do I train them? We built a little course on this. So if you want more information, you can talk to me afterwards and we'll help you hire, train, and keep people that stay with you, and then it makes your life a whole lot easier. Workflow. So I call this the spaghetti plate versus the steak plate. Okay, I was raised in the cattle industry. I'm from Amarillo. My dad's in the cattle business, and it smells like money to me. So you all know what a spaghetti plate looks like, right? Okay, you don't know where one noodle starts and where one noodle ends, okay? And you know what a steak plate looks like, right? You've gone to Morton's, you have your beautiful steak, then you have your asparagus, and then you have your mashed potatoes. You know where one starts and one ends. You know if you want to eat this bite, you're going to choose this, okay? Same thing with your workflow when you're training your attendants. They should not look like spaghetti throughout their day. Okay, remember, we're increasing our efficiency. We're trying to make sure that the hourly rates that we're paying them, they're making us enough money, okay? So a spaghetti noodle, you don't know where it starts and it ends, okay? Their floor should not look like spaghetti. When they grab that wash and fold order from intake, it's already sorted, it's in the basket, it's ready to go. And it goes out to the washer. They already have their detergent. They have their tags, which we're going to talk about those too. They have their app, which we use an app to start all of our machines. They walk out to that washer, they load it, they put the soap in, they start it. They take that cart to the next machine, they unload that washer, they take it to the dryer, they load that dryer, and then they unload that load that's coming out of the dryer. So they literally went steak, 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 back to steak, okay? So make sure when you're starting to train your team and you're learning that workflow, you want it to look like steak and potatoes, not spaghetti. Okay. Something that when we first opened, we toured about almost 200 laundromats in like the year and a half before we got started. And every store that I walked into that did wash and fold, they had stickers of just receipts on all their washers and dryers. And if you do that, I'm sorry, I may step on your toes. But to me, it looked really tacky and I didn't like the look of it. And I was like, what can we do to make it not look so tacky, but still keep track of it? So one, we track in our POS system, but in Oklahoma, we have power outages a lot. So to back up for that, we created these little tags, and on the back of it, we tape the receipt. So we just put the receipt on the back of this tag, and it's forward facing out. And so what this does is this markets to your self-serve customers. So they're like, oh, that's exclusivity. They don't have to sit here and wait for 24 minutes while this washer takes and sit for 32 minutes while the dryer goes. They get to just drop it off and go. We even created one that says, why are you doing your own laundry? We'll do it for you. So we just call them out right there, okay? So we are, one, protecting the privacy of our wash and fold customers, because some people, they're a little catty. They will move those. And then we're also marketing to our self-serve customers. Into packaging, when you go into Trader Joe's, that's a completely different experience than when you go into the Walmart grocery store, correct? Okay, so you're doing the same thing. We're providing a luxury product that they don't have to pay for. They don't have to pay for your wash and fold service. They can go to your self-serve side. They can sit for 24 minutes and 32 minutes and do it themselves, okay? But you are providing an experience, and so that starts in your packaging. And so we color sort everything. So RGB, red, green, yellow, orange, in the whole color. We do that whenever we're hanging things. And then it also how we package items. We package everything and we call it drawer ready. So where you put your items in your drawer needs to be packaged that way for each person in that household. So if we have mom, dad, boy, and girl, all of mom's clothes are sorted together. All of dad's clothes are sorted together. Same thing with son and daughter. And then we also do it by clothing type. So all the shirts for little boy are together. All the pants for little boy are together. So it can seem a little excessive, but remember, they're paying you for a luxury product. They're paying you for an experience. You need to delight your client. And so for them to keep coming back for loyal service, you have to create an experience, okay? Also with our packaging, we heat seal everything. And we also use our own custom detergent. So when they open that package up, they get a smell that's not Tide or Gain. We're creating that experience, that lifelong connection, okay? The biggest sense in the humans is the smell, okay? It relates the most to emotion. So when they open that, they don't get that smell anywhere else. They only get the smell when they drop off with us. We also diffuse that smell into our stores. Again, we're creating a customer experience. So when you walk in, you're like, this doesn't smell like a laundromat. Because we're creating an experience for these people, and then we put it into our soap. And then also these people, when they stay for long-term storage, like a lot of people come in and drop off all their blankets with us, their comforters. They store them for weeks or months on end, and then when they finally open up, it's still fresh. I can smell it right now. It's a great experience. Upsells, this is where it gets good. So where we're gonna start making some of that money, honey. So what we call our upsells. So at each one of our stores, we have these little clipboards. They're quarter size. They're about like this. And on them are things that we charge extra for outside of detergent. So it says same day express service, which we double our price. If you don't double your price for same day service, you should. I am not afraid to up my prices and be the highest one in the area because we're paying for a luxury service. Challenge you all, go home and you increase your bin prices by 25 cents. And then you increase your wash and fold by another 50. And then call me and tell me how it goes. You'll be very excited. And the next thing we do is OxyClean degreaser, because we're an oil-filled country. Houston, you can do the same thing. Bleach, stain spot treatment, hangers, dryer sheets. I hate dryer sheets, but our customers love them. So I think last year we sold 36,000 dryer sheets. Let me tell you my demographics. All 4 of my stores are in 3 different towns, and the total population is 50,000 people, okay? So 50,000 people bought 36,000 dryer sheets from me last year, and the median household income in 2 of those towns is less than $18,000, sorry. So if you're like, I don't know if I can do this, yes, you can. Again, so this is some encouragement for you. And so we're gonna do some math. I don't math well, but we're gonna do some. Okay, so stain pre-treatment. We have found, chemical companies don't shoot me, but one of the best stain treatments that we have found comes from the Dollar Tree. It costs me $1.50. It's in a white bottle with an orange label. Go check it out. We can average about 50 garments or 50 spots per bottle that we sell. So at $1 per garment, we make $50 per bottle that we buy in stain treatment. That's adding to your bottom line that you're only having to buy $1.50, but you're adding value and creating an experience for your customer. It gets better, y'all. Dryer sheets. We buy this from Sam's. We buy 480 sheets for $9.92. We sell them at 4 for $1. We do typically 4 in each load. So if they've got 3 or 4 loads, then it's going to be $3 or $4. We make $120 per box on dryer sheets. But wait, there's more. Degreaser. You can buy about a gallon of commercial degreaser for $8.98. We sell it for $5 a cup, which is 4 ounces. We use a standard dosing cup that comes with, large Tide, Gain, anything like that. We measure it out. We make $150 per bottle of that. So this is the big one. This is my favorite. OxiClean. And we sell this all day long. So 11-pound box gets you roughly 88 scoops. It's $12.98 right now. $5 a scoop. We make $440 per box. Do you know how many boxes of OxiClean I go through per week? 5. I go through 5. So see how little things like this will add up to your bottom line. And again, you're creating an experience, but you're also making money, which is what our goal is, right? So we want to be making money. The next thing is one-off potentials. So this is huge in wash and fold. These have your highest profit margins. This is why you want big machines. If you don't have over a 40-pound machine, you need to find a guy in a red shirt today, and you need to buy a 60, specifically an 80, okay? I didn't have an 80 till my last store, and they literally are busy all day long. People stand in line and wait for my 80-pound machines. But it also allows me to do things like patio cushions. It allows me to do California King comforters, okay? It allows me to do giant dog beds, okay? All of these items, I don't charge any less than $25 per item. I'm going to give you an example here. A comforter. We don't charge based on size because your employees don't know the difference. They think a twin is a king, and then you get in this whole match. It's just easier to not go on size. We're all about KISS. Keep it simple, stupid, okay? And so all our comforters are $25. We ran a promo while we were at the Clean Show. Josh put it all over Facebook, and it says, Josh is at the Clean Show. All comforters are now $15. Okay, so we ran this huge promo. We did $1,700 in comforters in 2 days. Okay, but we wouldn't have been able to do that if we didn't have large capacity machines. Again, dog beds are an easy one. Everybody's investing in dogs right now. Between health and wellness and getting Botox, it's taking care of your dogs, okay? Botox and dogs. And you know what? The person who takes care of their dogs gets Botox. So you need to go after that person. The person that gets Botox takes really, really good care of their dogs. So that's a marketing hack for you. You didn't pay me for that one. Also, sleeping bags, pillows. We do these, king size versus standard, anywhere from $25 to $45. Patio cushions are huge. We have a friend who is in Wichita who did patio cushions last fall. He made $600,000 just in patio cushions in 2 months. Okay? All he has are 60-pound washers. So you can do this. And then rugs, ruggables, those are the rage right now. Ruggables, household washable rugs, outdoor rugs. These are easily scalable and very doable in your large capacity washers. We have it taped out on the floor for our girls to know what is small, medium, and large. Again, they don't know how to use a tape measure. You got to make it easy for them. Keep it simple, stupid. You got to mark it down on the floor. It says small, they charge for a small. If it's a large, they charge for a large. Then something else, partnering with somebody who does bridal gowns. We just started this. We charge the customer $325, and it only costs us $120. You ship it off, you have a partner, they take care of everything, you take care of everything in the store with your customer. They get a beautiful boxed, preserved wedding dress. Uggs made, I don't know if you're back down here, you're not very seasonal, but where we are, Uggs are the rage. But they get nasty and muddy and dirty, but because they're a suede, they need specific cleaning. We, again, partnered with a leather company. It cost us $20. We charged the customer $65. I didn't have to do any work. I didn't have to lift a finger. I didn't have to train any employees. And so finding little things that are one-offs to really build to that bottom line. Also, do tennis shoe cleaning. And you don't have to do super fancy. You can put them in a delicates bag, put them in a washer, and wash them. And again, we run specials on these and sell all day long. Okay? Have you at least made $20 today from ideas? Please? Yes? Okay. That's my goal. Next, we're going to get into delivery, okay? Why does delivery matter? So delivery is a multiplier. I want you to think about that, okay? Kind of like what Brian said. You kind of need to know your self-serving and do it well. and then your wash and fold is going really, really well before you expand into delivery. But delivery is a multiplier. You take your radius from where you're servicing and you double it. Also, your order size is going to double. Our standard wash and fold order is 24 pounds. My standard pickup and delivery order is 42 pounds. Does anybody, if you're doing pickup and delivery, do you notice that your delivery orders are higher than your drop off? Yes, significantly higher. So why wouldn't you want to invest a little bit in some van and some software and double like that, right? You'd be silly not to. And then again, this is where those large capacity washers come in, because you can do these large commercial accounts. These red bags here are a Dollar General warehouse, and they have a cold, fresh food service, and they have to wear ski bibs in their freezers. And so we're able to do these every single week, and it's like, a $2,400 a month contract. But we do that in the 2 80-pound washers, and we're out the door. And so, again, I love my big machines. If you decide you're going to get into pickup and delivery, you have to have the right tools, okay? It's like going to repair something and you don't have your toolkit and you're just like, all I have is a Phillips and you need a flathead. Like, you're not going to be able to get what you need done. Same thing when you're doing pickup and delivery. So you need a website. They need to know who you are, and you have to collect their data and set up their account. The more that they can do independently that you don't have to do, that means more money in your pocket, and you're trading your time for something that's more valuable, okay? Next thing, you need a point of sale system. So there's a lot out there today. We have found the best point of sale system for us has been Clean Cloud, because it does everything in one. We have a driver app. We don't have to route through something else. Our customers are able to use the same app. They're able to schedule online. My girls in the store know what is going on while my driver is out on the road. So they all talk to each other. This is also where I use all my marketing. Like, all my funnels run straight through Clean Cloud. So I don't have to have all these other things. I have one, and it's beautiful. I love it. I'm not a tech person, but it has made my life easier in the staffing and the training side of it. Other thing you're going to need is your delivery vehicle. This is your rolling billboard. Some people want to do cheap and easy and that kind of thing. Think of how much you would pay for a billboard on the interstate, on I-10. How much do you think those billboards go for? A lot of money, okay? But this is going to be going in neighborhoods. This is your advertisement. This sells your exclusivity. This sells your time. This sells your health. And so you want to make sure that you spend good money on your rep. Have somebody do a really good job on it, because you're going to be investing in it for a long time. Some keys to scaling as you're starting to build your wash and fold business. Make sure you define your client journey. Everybody's going to come in at different times. Some people are going to drop 600 pounds on you and you're going to be like, hey, that wasn't that hard. And then some people are going to bring their towels for 6 months before they bring you anything else. So you're going to need to know where they're at and where you need to put them. This is when your point of sale system comes in, because where they are in your marketing funnel depends on what they're going to be receiving and what they're going to be bringing in, okay? Marketing essentials. What are the 3 things that you market to? Health, wealth, and time. Oh, I did not teach very well. Health, wealth, and time. Okay, those are the 3 things that you need so that you can build a good marketing campaign. Start building partnerships with people in your community. When we go into a new town, most likely we're going to partner with a gym first. They always have towels, they're always stinky, and they're easy to provide a transformation. People buy transformations. They don't, like, people are not selling GLP-1s and they're like, oh, because I want to take a shot. No, they see the transformation, so they're buying these, okay? I know it's a hot topic, but they're doing that. So you're selling a transformation. They're getting these nice, beautiful, non-stinky towels back. So now they're going to sell it to their other people, their other customers that come in. Hey, your gym clothes stink real bad. You need to go to Wash Bar down the street and then make your clothes not stink so bad. So you're building these partnerships with people. You have to have your people and your policies in force. You can't do wash and fold by yourself. You don't want to do wash and fold by yourself. And then you also need to have the policy so that people can follow it. And then starting out lean but structured. So you're going to need people throughout your day. You're not going to need 10 people folding laundry. You need to know what your PPOH is. You need to know how many pounds they need to be processing per hour. So then you need to know how many people you actually need to hire. And we help give you some of these tools. We have a community for people who actually get it. Sam's actually in our community right now. And we give you solutions for staffing, for marketing, those types of things. And then we also help push you every quarter. So we set a big goal every 90 days, and then we implement all these things to help get you there. So that's something that helped us. We worked in 90-day chunks when we were trying to grow, and this helped us. So this was kind of born out of our setbacks and failures and then helped us succeed. And so what did you learn? Hopefully the 3 tips for marketing. Marketing, health, wealth, and time. Wash and fold is a high profit margin, especially when you start doing one-off items, when you start doing those upsells, those types of things. This is one of our counters one day. It was pretty wild and crazy. People plus policy, and then everything is scalable. Scaling comes down to systems. Remember, we're a manufacturing facility with a hospitality focus. We are system driven. I know Brian said, we haven't seen a whole lot of people replicating what we're being able to do, but you can get pretty darn close. And so once you put the right systems in place, you're able to step out of the owner role. You're able to step into more of the money maker and the decision maker and the visionary and not being in the day-to-day. We're in the people business, not the laundry business. You'll hear our team say this all the time, and this is what drives us and what we do. We really do care about people. Again, like I said, we were nobody. We knew nothing when we got started. When we figured it out, and we want to help people along their journey to get them where they need to go. I also think you need to implement this in your stores. When you focus on people first, the profit will follow. You treat people right, and the rest will follow. You can get in touch with me. I just now got social media, so I'm an old soul. You can see I wrote my notes on paper. You can hit me up in email. I am on LinkedIn. I'd love to talk with you. Like I said, I'm an introvert, so I love having one-on-one conversations with you. A few things that we do offer. If you're trying to figure out, hey, am I even profitable? How do I build my wash and fold? When do I need to expand? We have a whole blog. We've just started writing down what we know. It's free. You can check us out. You go to laundryadvisors.com and you can read all of our secrets and everything that we have, and then build your calculator and figure out, hey, where am I at? It will even grade you. It'll tell you, hey, you're doing great, or it'll say, hey, you're not doing so great. And so today, you can scan this QR code, you can get our calculators, you can get some of our downloads, some of the things we do for staffing. All of that is there. Also, if you don't do wash and fold and you just have a laundromat and you're like, hey, I should probably get my laundromat working first and then add wash and fold, we have that too. And so we made it accessible for you guys who are here because you obviously believe in what you're doing and you want to do well in your business. And so that's what we have for you guys. I think the calculator is pretty cool, and I don't math. That's why I was a nurse. I take care of people. You can download from that QR code, or you could send me an email, or we can connect on LinkedIn, and I make fun posts. So thank you for your time.
Are there any questions for him?
Yes.
I will answer them.
How long do we store? So we keep them up to 30 days. That's a disclaimer also that's on our receipt. And so it's printed on there. So they get that receipt when they go home. But we also have automated text. So every 3 days, they get a text to say, you have picked up your clothes. You have picked up your clothes. Very rarely do we have anything left over. If we do, it's usually comforters. And we've partnered with the Family Crisis Center. And so we donate to them. Each one of our locations has a specific community outreach that we go to. And then mainly specific to the Family Crisis Center. We do prepay now. About 95% of our customers, we require payment at drop-off. Or if they're regular, they have a card on file. So she said, how do you handle if you notice stain treatment on, if something needs stain treatment before and you didn't know that before they already prepaid, or if they snug a comforter in? Okay, what do you do about that? So part of our training process is every bag is opened. So we do that right there in front of the customer. So they kind of keep their uglies at the bottom of the bag because they know that we're going to open the top of the bag. Okay. And they usually get caught once and then they're like, oh, I'm so sorry for the comforter. And then for the stain treatment, the little clipboard you saw, they're kind of trained to do that every time they come in. So I know like some restaurants or coffee shops, you have to write it down before you take their order. So we've programmed them. But also we'll have a conversation afterwards. We'll make a note in their account. Say, hey, Miss Jones, I noticed there was a lot of pet hair. Next time, would you like dryer sheets so you don't have to go home with that? And they're like, oh yeah, that was great. So then we just build it into a conversation at the next drop off. Yeah. Thank you.